Hey guys, welcome to Boots and Bounty Homestead. We are in the kitchen today with another collaboration, and this one is called Marching In with Casseroles. And this invitation was from Greg at Greg's Kitchen. I'll leave everybody's link down below. I'll leave the list of collaborators that will be joining this collaboration so you can go check out everybody's video. The playlist link will be down below, and I'm also going to pop up a picture right here of the giveaways that are going to be in a giveaway at the end of the month. We will be announcing later through Greg's channel. These are going to include 9x13 casserole pan, slow cooker for casseroles, enamel Dutch oven, a double casserole carrier, a set of 2 aluminum pan casserole carriers, and then a donation of a cookbook from Miss Vicki at Vickies Country Home. So I just wanted you to have that information starting off with this video. But for my video, we are going to be doing a classic for our family at least. And it is going to be a rendition of a Krystal burger casserole. So let's go cook it. Okay, so first off, we are going to start by browning our meat. I like to use my cast iron, and I am going to be using 2 pounds of meat in this recipe. Because I'm making a bigger casserole. I'm still using the same ingredients. I'm still using the 2 crescent rolls, the same amounts, except the onion soup mix down in the recipe. Since I'm doubling the meat, I'm going to use 5 tablespoons of my homemade onion soup mix. This will be like a pack and a half, almost 2 packs if you want that much. Seasoning in your meat is totally up to you. But 3 tablespoons of my homemade onion soup mix is equal, 3 tablespoons is equal to 1 packet. So I'm going to do 5 tablespoons just so it doesn't get too pungent, because that does have like turmeric and different seasonings in it. I don't want to get too strong for the kiddos. So I'm going to be browning up my 2 pounds of deer meat that we have. And we're going to go ahead and preheat our oven to 350 degrees. The secret to cast iron, if you are still learning how to use it, is to get it hot first. You don't want it like smoking hot, but I like to put mine on medium high, and then once it gets up to temperature where when I put the food in it, it's sizzling like the meat, then I turn it down to about medium, because medium is kind of where you want to learn how to cook on cast iron, because it creates an even heating and it doesn't get too hot to where it burns your food, because if your food gets too hot, then it does stick. So you kind of have to have that medium range of heat, not too terribly hot unless you're searing, and you can't have it cool because it will become non-stick. Everything will start sticking whenever your cast iron is too cold. So I'm gonna go ahead and heat this up, and I do have a little bit of avocado oil already in the pan. And I'm going to get my deer meat out and get it browned. So if you're using regular store-bought or fattier ground beef, or whatever meat you're using, you could use deer, moose, elk, I don't care, whatever you're using. If you're using like a fattier meat, dependent on how much fat is in here, depends on if you need to drain it or not. Now we actually do a mixture and add in some beef fat into our deer when we grind it. And we make it about a 70-30. With that being said, it's not a real fatty meat, because deer is very lean, and so it absorbs the fat as it cooks and tenderizes. So there's actually probably not even a not even a quarter cup of like a watery fat in the bottom. It's not a real fatty fat, so it's more of a watery fat. So I've got about a quarter cup in the bottom. Now if you have more grease than that, if your fat, if your meat's just floating in fat, you might want to drain it off a little bit. Or you can drain it off completely and rinse it and then add about a quarter cup of water. So if you want to do that, that's fine. Now that's going to be for like 2 pounds of meat. I would go a hair less, probably. I would start out with probably about 2 tablespoons of water. Mix in your package or 3 tablespoons of my homemade onion soup mix. And then kind of see where you stand. Like mix it up and make sure it's not overly thick. And you'll see what I mean as we mix it. So we're not really trying to make like a paste. You're trying to treat it like a taco seasoning packet where it has a little bit of water so it thickens it up a little bit as it cooks and the flavors get stronger. So just kind of eyeball as you're mixing your onion soup mix into your meat, or my recipe into yours, or if you have one, then you'll know how it reacts. So we're just going to mix in. I'm going to start off with, I'm going to do 3. I'm going to mix it up, see what it looks like, and go up to 5 if I need to. But I know that 3 tablespoons of my seasoning equals 1 store-bought package of onion soup mix. So we're going to mix this up. Now if you use a recipe like I have, and I'll leave the link down below, if you use that sort of recipe, it does have like turmeric and spices and stuff in it. For kids, you might want to leave off the mustard if they're not a mustard fan. My children are, well, some are, some aren't. I love mustard. My oldest son loves mustard. Emma's kind of give or take depending on what it is. Stephen and Logan are 2 of a kind. Neither one of them really like mustard. And you can go ahead and turn your skillet off at this time, unless you need to cook a little bit of the water or fat down. So they're not real big fans of mustard. They don't like tang or that tart kind of flavor. So I have to be careful with when I use mine because it has like the turmeric and the mustard powder in it. And instead of adding mustard to my casserole, which you can do if that's one of the condiments that you like in your burgers, you can do that. Or I do that when I use onion soup mix that's store-bought, like Lipton or Great Value or whatever. But when I use my onion soup mix, I want to only put it on half of the casserole because Logan and Steven don't care for the mustard being on top of my onion soup mix because it's already tangy, tarty enough for them. So this actually looks pretty good. It's kind of yellow, so I don't want to overstay my welcome. So this looks actually pretty good. I'm actually going to leave this alone. So I did 3 tablespoons of my onion soup mix, my homemade onion soup mix, and that's good enough for my family. Now you can add a little bit more if y'all like it a little bit, you know, tangier, spicier, mustardy, or you can wait and flavor it with the condiments that you're going to put on it shortly. So we're going to go through that here in just a minute. Okay, so here comes the fun part, and you can, what we call it, doctor it up any way you want to. We have just regular crescent rolls. I love using the dough sheets, but they did not have them when I was looking for them. I guess everybody else loves them too. So we are just using the regular crescents. And I have a 10 by 14 dish. Because I have so much meat, and normally we eat almost all of this. It's usually about a quarter of it left between the 4 of us. We love it. This is one of our favorites. So I like to use a 10 by 14, and whenever I roll my crescents out, I want to squish in all the seams, but I also, as I roll it out, I want to pull it outward just a little bit so it will fit the width of my casserole dish. And you don't have to make this go up on the edge or anything like that. So we're just going to unroll it, and then, like I said, close up the seams best you can. I do have a dish, that's a hair bigger than this one, and we like to use that one too. So we're just going to close up all the seams, pinch them together, and you can kind of spread it out, push it out, stretch it, however you need it to do. Close up all the seams. And then on the end, just kind of unroll best you can, even it up, you know, because sometimes you can unroll them and they're kind of diagonal, they're kind of wobbly-jawed. Okay, and then we're going to add our meat and just make one single layer in the bottom. And if you do cook 2 pounds, you don't have to use it all. You can make this kind of like as thick as you want. But just remember that the thicker it is, the less there are to hold things together. So if you really want a thicker casserole, you can maybe put half the meat down and put cheese in the middle, and then put another half, the other half of the meat down. Just to kind of hold all the meat together. I'm going to have just a little bit left over from here, and I'll save that. I'll put that up and use that in another meal. So to this, what I like to do is go ahead and put down like the mustard and the ketchup. And this is all to your taste. So you can put as much or as little as you want to on here. Alright, so I'm going to do just a little bit of mustard, not too terribly much, because like I said, my family don't like, not everybody likes it, so I'm just going to do just a little sprinkle all the way across it. Okay. And then I'm going to put the cheese down next. So the cheese, you'll just kind of have to go edge to edge and kind of break it up to make it fit. Usually I can get 3.5 or 4 across one way, and then 2 the other way, and then I'll have to kind of break it in half to fill in the ends. So you just make it fit your casserole dish, and don't be afraid to double layer it. Kind of layer on top of each other if you need to. Okay, now the reason why I do it this way is because I'm gonna put pickles on it, and you can do, of course, Krystal burgers usually have the dill pickles on it. But you can do dill pickles or sweet pickles or relish or no pickles at all. And what I like to do is just kind of think about where I'm going to cut it and place like one pickle in that area. And then whenever the crescent rolls cook, you will actually see the pickles through it and you'll know where to cut. And then for the last step, it's to top it with the second crescent roll. I want to put just a little bit of Redmond sea salt on top. You can put butter on top of it. You can put garlic powder. You can do whatever you want on top of it. And we're going to put this in our 350-degree oven. And I've got a pan in there I have to take out. Now that is going to bake until it is golden brown on top. Now make sure it gets golden brown, because if it is a little too undercooked, like if it just started turning brown, The bottom in the middle will still be kind of gooey and kind of a rawy texture. So just make sure that you get the top a very good, nice golden brown, and that way you can ensure that everything is cooked. If you want to, you can put the crescent roll on the bottom, put it in the oven for 5 minutes, and go ahead and kind of like a par bake or pre-bake the bottom just for 5 minutes. So when you take it out and put everything on top, it's already partially cooked. It's like it's already got a head start. So when you put everything on top of it and then you put the top crescent roll on it, everything cooks a little more at the same time. Same time frame where the bottom is not raw. I have done it both ways, and I've kind of learned kind of how to do both ways, and so that's why I'm giving you the tip for you to do either way, whichever way works best for you. So we will see you back in, I'm going to set the timer for 12 minutes just to make sure, because my oven can run a little hot sometimes. So I'm going to set it for 12 minutes, and then whenever it's ready, I'll show you what it looks like.